Hi, just a little short video to talk about awareness and specifically in cases when we have kind of rough days and it seems like we've been doing all we can or just doing our best to care of ourselves. Specifically, you're working on your diet. It might not be the best, but hey, at least you're taking care of yourself. You're not overdoing things and watching what you eat, how much you eat, and everything else. Possibility. The other thing is like, hey, you've been doing spiritual work. Let's say getting rid of entities, meditating, grounding, any kind of visual stuff, getting out of body, revoking contracts, and various things that you can do with the spirituality. So you put an effort there. You take care of your physical body. You, let's say, work out, or maybe you do some physical activities that help you out. You go into nature if you can, or at least outside of your house and, get some fresh air, get some people and like, hey, interactions and everything else. But there are times where we do everything or things that seem to be best for us, like, hey, all that I mentioned earlier. But still, seems like that wasn't enough. And next day, after you're high or feeling pretty good for a while, you have this super low. You kind of like crash and burn where you were exhausted. You have this brain fog where you can't think clearly, where you're kind of lost, disorganized, where you have a lot of miscommunications in that day, where you seem to be attracting NPCs or weird kind of cases, and like Murphy himself with his Murphy's Law is following you around, causing a lot of little triggers. So when that happens, you start questioning like, why, what the hell, or you start reacting to the situation. And with all that, it is very important to use your awareness like a lie detector. Well, but that wouldn't be exactly right. Well, in a way, but even like metal detector, I would say would even be better because it's like a tracker. Your awareness can track down everything. Your consciousness. You just basically give it a command, or you question stuff, and it's like sniffing out things that you haven't even been thinking about or looking at, and all of a sudden you just gain more clarity. And specifically, you know, I've been seeing cases where for some people they had like a lot of great days. And then all of a sudden their interest in life drops. Like things that they were excited about, let's say making videos or sharing a certain type of content or doing something outside the box, outside of their comfort zone, and really getting out there, really pushing the information that seems to be important. And again, from my perspective, but all of a sudden it just drops, it disappears. And even though they do spiritual work, even though they take care of their physical body, they have a great diet and everything else, and they watch all those things, still, what the hell, how does that happen? Well, mood, like physical body, or like not enough dopamine, some kind of like cortisol and other things kick in, like something's happening that we're not seeing within the body, or something else. But a lot of times we might not even think that besides entities and some possible contracts and let's say trackers, there's something else. And what I'm talking about more lately is that I've been seeing some AI activity, like the whole machine learning thing, where there's these beings and programs able to figure things out for themselves. But at the same time, it's like whatever we have here on Earth is very primitive from their perspective because they have had billions of years to become advanced and to get a lot of advantages over us. And specifically, Earth is like not just Earth. There are certain places in the physical universe, but Earth is one of them that has like high contingency, so to speak. But there's this like etheric energy. It's like air. You're in this space, you don't see it, you don't really feel it. You breathe in, so that's oxygen, yay, we have it. So it's like that. But this energy, this frequency, this thing, the ether, or whatever you want to call it, it's affecting humanity in a massive way. And some days, it's like it's there, you don't see it, you don't feel it, you don't give a damn about it. It's like automatic, like, yeah, you're used to it. But it's like you get on Earth, and this whole experience is very toxic for a lot of people, if not everyone. And those that are not prepared, or those that have been forcefully incarnated, those that have been deceived, those that are having the first time here, and everyone else, of course, that, like it's a toxic experience in the way that before coming on Earth, we have had tons of different lives where the way we communicate, feel things, experience things were different. And then, of course, it's like, yeah, obvious. But at the same time, like telepathical communication, where you don't have to call anyone, where you don't have to get face to face and use various languages to explain how you feel and hope the other person gets it and then responds in a way that might help you out or be in a way that you would like it to be. With all that, telepathic communication, you don't even need a language. It's like communicating in knowledge and knowingness. You don't give information, you give knowing. So whatever you know and experience, like this is my day, and everything you have experienced from A to Z, from the morning until evening until you go to bed, it's like you give that whole experience to that person, and they get to see, feel, and experience things from your eyes, from your perspective. They know what you've been through, they know how you feel, they know it all, and then they respond back by giving you that kind of like, I don't know, like massive boost of energy, of love, of like, hey, it's gonna be all right. Like you just get at and you feel such a relief. And that's the way it's out there in some places. There's a lot of good things, there's a lot of bad things, but on Earth it all disappears. And it's like humanity, trapped in a cage, gets used to being in a cage. The best experience I can say is that since I was a teenager, because of bullying and other things, I trapped myself in this box of my perception of how I was or was supposed to be, trying to fit in, trying to be like everyone else, trying to not stand out and all that. And psychologically, like I was just like shown and like just like, please don't look at me, like I don't want to be seen, and a lot of things that were keeping me in this my own prison, my own box. But with all that, trying to fit in and everything else, it's like psychologically and in a physical body as well, I really crippled myself. I really caused myself this scoliosis and other things. And with that, living day after day without noticing it, without not really feeling it, or it's there, but it becomes normal. When the negative and the bad becomes normal, that's where it gets really fucked. Because that's the experience on Earth. It is normal for us to not be able to communicate telepathically. It is normal for us to have difficult lives because that's life. To have tons of issues, to encounter NPCs, to have tons of difficulties and grow and stuff. And, oh, well, like you have to, like, no pain, no gain. We share all those cliches about how life is, trying to program ourselves that that's the way it is. That's normal. That is Earth experience. Like, no, it shouldn't be that way. And of course, there are various experiences out there, not to say like, oh, this is really bad and everything's going to be fine when you leave this place. Like you have to work at stuff. But this whole trap, this whole beingness of crap and getting, so many negative, hardcore stuff, like every one of you will probably experience it or already have experienced it in some sort of way. Something that, like, we all have difficulties in life, one way or the other, small or big, it's all relative. But it shouldn't be that way. It shouldn't. And so when we have those highs, when we like, by high I mean you have a great day, you feel good, you're excited, maybe you're like, you can finally relax and be yourself for a moment and do what you wanted to do and kind of just enjoy it. And that's the high I'm talking about. It's like not even something bigger than that. But of course, you define what good and high means for you, the high of life where you get like really happy and everything's fine. So you get that, and all of a sudden you're hitting off a lot of triggers in the system. Like you shouldn't feel that way. And all of a sudden you get various attacks. Not just people coming into your space, saying stuff or acting in a way that might trigger you or piss you off or have you react in some sort of way. Not just life situations on the traffic, at the store, like, oh, you forgot something, or at home. Not just that, but specifically this, your mind, how you feel, your physical body. It's such a thing. Because at times we get used to the bad and we think it's the physical body. It's life. And it's not. You are at times a targeted individual. And that's the best way I can put when you feel like shit and everything you've tried didn't work, what the hell is going on? And I'm no doctor, like I can't tell you that your physical body didn't cause this and all this stuff. Like I'm no pro in all those things. But at the same time, some people, they do really good at taking care of themselves and still feel like shit. And that's where I'm talking about awareness. Because if you start questioning, why am I feeling this way? Who's doing that to me? If it's someone doing it to me, and you go like, is it entities? You still feel kind of crappy. Is it three-letter agencies? Is it the government, the cabal, and you name things and you still feel like shit? Is it AI? Boom. Like, kind of got relief, kind of got more clarity all of a sudden. You just ask the question. But all of a sudden, if you feel this like sudden minor shift in your field and your, presence, and you're like, huh, okay, AI, huh? You get a bit more clarity. So I'm not saying it's all AI, but your consciousness, the moment you start asking questions and directing things around, like, okay, where is it coming from? Which direction? And you can literally move your finger around the room and feel a momentarily release the moment you point your finger at the place where it's coming from, you're going to pick it up. Like your brain might not think of it. You're like focused on life, your physical body and everything else. But if you allow yourself to just imagine the possible case, you're going to hit one of the answers that's true. It is happening. You just haven't been aware of it before. But the moment you become aware of the issue, aware of who's doing it to you, why, you literally ask yourself questions. And it's just like playing that, true or false game. Is it true that I'm targeted? Yes or no? And you're like looking for those signs. But instead of yes or no, you ask questions where you give the answers as a possibility, and you stop when you feel a relief. It can come in lots of ways. Some of you might get chuckles. Some of you might get tears in your eyes. Some of you might get goosebumps. Others might start yawning, but it's the energy release. Your consciousness, your awareness spots what's wrong in your field that you might have not seen before. And all of a sudden that gives you more clarity. It's like finding a bad guy, like a person that's been, stealing from your company. The moment you find out who they are, they're not going to show up at work tomorrow. So with that, it's like your consciousness, your awareness is like this massive flashlight. And once you point it to the right direction, those that have been messing with you will back off. They don't want to be caught. They don't want to be looked into. So they let go. All of a sudden, the brain fog that you've had, this weird, crappy feeling that you've had disappears. And it goes in lots of ways. Like one is being aware what's up with your body and why is it happening? Have you been taking care of yourself? And you just go through the list of things you've been doing and all this stuff. Because sometimes it's very simple. Like I just I can't believe how much my life has changed since trying out Yumeho therapy and massages. Like to me, massage by itself used to be like cliche or thing I saw from movies. Oh, people just get on a table and it's kind of like weird and people feel good and that's it. I don't like it. I don't want to do that. And I've tried it and I'm like, what the hell? I had no idea it feels that good. And then, finding all those trigger points and releasing it. And all of a sudden I walk out and the whole week of stress and inability to sleep and tons of other things that has happened releases in an hour. And all the stuff that has gathered up, like I feel like a new person. Like hell, I had no idea it feels so good. Why did no one tell me that before? Like damn. So for me, like I see like various changes, and I'm like when I work on myself, I have to look at like, okay, what am I doing wrong or good? Am I eating properly? Yeah. Am I working out? Yeah. Am I doing this? No. Okay, well, that's one of the reasons why this could be happening. And for myself, I go through the list to look for possibilities of why I have certain experiences. And is it like entities? Is it NPCs? Am I being targeted? Is it AI or something else? Or is it just me? Is it just me not doing something, stopping myself and having those like various issues and working through my own little traumas or things I have been programmed with by myself or others? And so like looking at all those aspects, if you cover a lot of it and still see no results or still see that you really messed up and you look at various whys, your consciousness, directing it properly, working with it properly. And I'm not saying you have to put yourself in frames and do things like that. No, so it's more like curiosity, explore, find out for yourself. When I ask questions, when others ask questions, like it's so easy for some people to get all the answers. Get all the answers within. You don't need me to explain anything to you. You don't need to watch videos. You can get it all from within if you were able to tap into it. A lot of things, like like even that whole fogginess or like bad feeling or like not being able to be in a zone or feeling like you're all alone and crappy and all the stuff. Like for some people, if you take care of a lot of things, just the basic human needs, just your physical body and like a lot of stuff that will help you out on this journey, then you look at, okay, well, what else? Like if all this explains, or like like I look at my medical history, my diet and everything else, and it should be fine. Like I've been doing everything properly, then why am I still feeling like this? And that's where you start looking at something more paranormal or something more weirder than just, like no work and all this stuff. So, all in all, I'm just saying that if you have some weird cases, brain fog and ability to remember, like even your attention going all over the place, like that ADD, ADHD, and procrastination, like various things, like you've been focusing on a project and all of a sudden you have tons of stops and little issues that actually might even seem not like a distraction, but more rather like an interest. But it's also an interest that will keep you sidetracked, that will keep you stuck. Like, oh, look, new people that you like, and like you get engaged, but you're not really getting anything out of it. It's a nice conversation. They're good people or good NPCs, but at least, like it pleases you. You feel safe. That was kind of fun. But the thing you've been working on is like all of a sudden on hold. And go have a life. Do stuff you like. Do what you want. But then if you are like, I want results, but I like hanging out with my friends, you have to look at like, well, what's more important? And like, I'm not saying drop your stuff, go do work, hustle, and all this stuff. No, like happiness. You being happy is the most important thing in your life. Take care of yourself, put yourself first, do things that will make you happy, do things that will make you get better. Just take care of yourself, put yourself first, and all this stuff. And after that, just express yourself any way you want that might help others if that's your thing. But I guess you get my message. I'm kind of like tired and I should go to bed and stop rambling and wasting your time on the repetitive stuff. So anyway, thank you all for watching and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.